Hey y'all, welcome to Nocti by j.N.S, and today we got to talk about a very important topic. So a lot of y'all know about the situation with Vlad TV and Godfrey and Lord Jamar. So this is really interesting to me because a lot of us grew up watching Vlad TV. Me personally, I literally only watched it because Lord Jamar was on there. And I want to say a lot of the times when Charlemagne was on there was interesting to me. This was when I was a lot younger. And I honestly stopped watching Vlad a while back, especially when Lord Jamar and Godfrey and Rod Digger started their own shit. Because to be honest, I knew back in the day that there was something off with Vlad. Like, I always felt like, I used to hear these rumors that he was, working for them folks and setting up black people, or that he was obviously making so much money off the backs of these black entertainers who would go on to do these interviews oftentimes for free because of the platform was so big. And I remember when there was just 800,000 followers on Vlad TV. So that's how long ago this was. He got now about 4.3 million people now. So I was watching this shit when it was 800,000 people on there. It went to 500,000 and 800,000. Around that mark is when I kind of stopped watching it. I would say around the 1 million mark, I definitely was out. Like, I just was like, and just waited for Lord Jamar to start his own shit. But anyways, pretty much a lot of people had already been telling the black community to check Vlad years ago. I mean, like, so many years ago, it's not even funny. No one listened. Y'all wanted to, give this man y'all clout and y'all energy, for very little pay and all this stuff, and build his platform to the point of 4.3 million subscribers and, of course, millions of bucks. So now we come fast forward in 2020. Vlad does this shit with Minister Farrakhan, where he distorts something that Minister Farrakhan said during this recent, I want to say, I think it was not Easter, but like I think the Eid Mubarak holiday. Like, and I know I'm not Islam, so I'm not a Muslim, so I don't know. But I do know he did like some type of speech or whatever. And he was talking about, you got to take the stone of truth, you got to take a stone of truth and throw it, So Vlad made it seem like Minister Farrakhan was telling black people to literally pick up a stone and throw it at Jews or some stuff like that. So basically he just distorted the whole conversation to make it seem, obviously anti-Semitic, and to that he was inciting some sort of violence against other groups of people and getting black people to go along with this sort of rhetoric. So obviously that was not the case, because if he was using a metaphor about the stone of truth and how black people need to speak truth to power and they need to stand on the truth, regardless of the consequences. That's pretty much what he was saying. And, when Vlad did that, a lot of black people felt some type of way about it. Like, why you distort it? I personally think that was obviously done on purpose. I think that he thought that y'all would be dumb enough to not go back and research it. Because, let's be real, a lot of black people don't be researching shit. And I also think he also thought not just black people was dumb enough, but just Americans, period. White people, black people. I think he thought, they about to take this and just run with it, and this is going to be the nail in the coffin for Minister Farrakhan and those of his ilk. So some people was calling it out. Like, there was obviously those of us who have evolved in our consciousness who saw the tricknology and was like, wait a minute, he was talking about the stone of truth. Why you cut that part out and distort da-da-da-da? And I guess he deleted the tweet, but he never apologized. So Royce the 5'9" comes out, demands an apology from him. This how Nick Cannon got demanded an apology. So it was definitely sort of like, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So, everybody is wondering, well, will DJ Vlad apologize? So obviously he didn't. He felt that it was sufficient enough to delete the text and the tweet rather, and state that it was a misquote and keep it moving. So what are my thoughts on whether he needs to apologize or not? Because here's where it gets weird. So Vlad says that he's only going to apologize if he can get an interview with Minister Farrakhan and do it in person to publicly apologize. We didn't frame it that way. He just made it seem like, oh, I wanted to publicly apologize and ask him to come on my platform. Just make it, seem innocent. Now, once again, he thought y'all was going to be dumb enough and fall for that. But y'all have evolved in y'all consciousness. I'm telling y'all, when I was watching this Vlad shit, he was still putting up like all of these drug lords who had been arrested, like basically promoting so much the base aspects of our community, and y'all was falling for it. Like we was all just thinking, when he was doing the like these families who had done so much time in jail for selling drugs and putting them on the platform like they're supposed to get respect because they made so much money destroying their community. So that was very offensive to a lot of us back then. That's why a lot of us stopped watching him, because we was like, why is y'all showing us this? Like, what's up with that? So that was obviously problematic. So everybody started calling out DJ Vlad for trying to clout chase off of Minister Farrakhan, because that obviously would have been a big interview. He would have got tons of views. It just would have been a game changer, because for one, this is a Russian Jew, and here is the Minister Farrakhan, who has historically spoke out about what his feelings were, and his perspective on the relationship between the blacks and the Jews. And that would have been obviously something that I would say the whole world would have watched that. All of America would have been tuned in. Like, ooh, this is the interview of a lifetime. They would have had that shit on 60 Minutes, CNN, So everybody peeped game and was like, hell no. We're not doing it. And Minister Farrakhan and his group was like, no, you're not about to clout chase. We'll send a representative, but you're not about to have this 83-year-old man get up on your shit. I don't know if he's 83, but he's old. He's in his 80s. And during this pandemic, and have him sit on your shit and get an apology supposedly from you, where you turn it around and start interviewing him and asking him crazy questions. Most likely that's what would have happened. So, it didn't go down that way. But here's the thing. People got upset at Godfrey and Lord Jamar. And I was one of them. I wasn't upset. I was just like, what are y'all doing? So let's get into why black people got upset at Lord Jamar and Godfrey. So Godfrey gets on their podcast, on their platform, and says that he was trying to set up the interview with Minister Farrakhan's grandson, trying to get his grandson to reach out to his grandfather, which is Minister Farrakhan, to do this interview. And a lot of people felt some type of way about that, because it was like, okay, we understand DJ Vlad wanting to, the business perspective from his point of view, but why are you, as this pro-black, I won't say pro-black leader, because, he's a comedian, but, as this person who takes a stand on his manhood, and he takes a stand for what he believes in, why are you trying to foster or be the intermediary between this situation? Like, people felt that was selling out. They started going crazy. They was calling him coon and all this stuff. I didn't agree with all that. I didn't think that they needed to go that far. But the selling out aspect was a credible perspective at the time, because a lot of us didn't know, like, were you trying to set this up? Because we see so much of that in our community. We see so much of black people just letting people in our culture just run rampant, disrespect us, and other black people facilitating it and letting them get away with it. So I think the buck stop here is 2020, and there's a definite shift in consciousness, whether the world wants to notice it or not, whether black people are aware of it or not. The shift in collective consciousness has taken place. So what does that mean? That means that things that black people used to let happen, they're speaking out against now. And it's shocking to people, because normally y'all would have fell for the okie doke and felt like Godfrey should set this up so we can get a public apology and get that acceptance and and have Minister Farrakhan's points validated by Vlad and all. Y'all would have been on that shit about 10 years ago, because that's how low y'all self-esteem was and how much lack of knowledge of self y'all had. And that's a fact. And y'all get mad at me, but it's a motherfucking fact, and I can prove it, because y'all let other situations like that already happen in the past. So everybody's shocked that y'all calling out, Godfrey and Lord Jamar like, oh no, we ain't having that. Y'all gotta take a stand. Y'all gotta same shit y'all did with Nick Cannon. So I honestly don't think that Lord Jamar was the one that was really trying to facilitate that. I think that to him it was more so, if you apologize and you make amends, we can get past it. I think both of them were on that. But I think Lord Jamar was ready to cut it off if he didn't. I think he was the one willing to sacrifice the relationship and just be able to move on. And I think that Godfrey saw the value in it, but it was also like, it was tough for him because this is, the platforms of your bread and your butter. It brought a lot of people as his fans, as well as the risk of being blackballed because of the perception that, oh, they support Minister Farrakhan, they side in with their community. Oh, we're gonna blackball them. Whereas Lord Jamar already been blackballed, so he didn't give a fuck. Godfrey has not. So I when you see the initial reaction where we gonna wait for the apology or we gonna set it up, when Godfrey said that, everybody came at his neck. Then they come back a couple days later and say that they have officially canceled ties. They officially will not be on the Vlad TV show, and that they spoke with Vlad a day before they made their announcement to let him know face to face or voice to voice or whatever, so he wouldn't be shocked, and that they were going to make this decision to officially cancel him, stick with their community, and promote what they believe is right, which is that he should apologize for distorting a elder and a historical leader point of view, regardless of the disagreements and the perspective. So that took place, and now that we're at this point where they actually have, I don't see it as a backtrack, because like I said, I feel like Lord Jamar was just always one step out the door. He's already used to being blackballed. He's already used to not really getting the accolades that he deserved, because he constantly speaks out about manhood. I remember when he did a lot of those videos about the skirts, and called out Eminem and his rap and his lack of rapid skills. And I mean, he used to do a lot. I remember watching so many of his videos where he would go in. He would go in, and he does a lot to take care of his family, his wife, and his kids. So I felt like he didn't give a fuck whether it could be salvaged or not, because he believes that he can build his platform, and he also sees the vision of where the community is going, where y'all gonna literally have to support each other because y'all about to get cut off in 2021. Y'all really don't understand what's happening, but I think he could see the vision and the value of, y'all gonna have to do this stuff anyways. Y'all gonna learn the hard way, because when I say y'all gonna start seeing big old systems fall that you thought you could depend on and that you could cuddle up under, and when you see it taken away, you're not gonna have no choice but to support each other. It's gonna come. So a lot of us that are intellects can see that coming. We can see it, and we already ahead of the game. So I think Lord Jamar is ready to take his own platform and get his own people to support him, whether that be donation or do a couple events and stuff, and get his money that way, and rely on that group economics aspect in the community to support him. I don't think Godfrey has really bought into that idea. Godfrey is of Nigerian descent, I believe, so he doesn't have the lineage to understand how important that would be for us. He's just like, y'all work for the white man too. If that's the case, we all need to quit our job. And I've say that a lot too in the past too, because y'all always want to go after our leaders and say, y'all need to take a stand, you need to do this, you need to sacrifice your platform for us. And when they sacrifice, y'all don't show up. Y'all don't, step in place to hold these people down. So that's really the point that I really want y'all to get, because now that I gave y'all the context of what all happened, they have made the decision. Regardless of, I feel like Godfrey was a little hesitant, but he still did it. And he's still learning that he's going to have to have a lot more faith in himself. And I know he may say, I do got faith in myself, but from my perspective, it seemed like he's a little iffy. He's a little nervous, like, is this going to work? And what I would say to him is, have faith and confidence in your ability to build your platform. And take pride in what you did. Don't second guess it. And I would say that to the black community, this is what y'all was looking for. This is what you asked for. So you got what you asked for. You said you didn't want them on Vlad TV anymore. This is what you demanded. Or you were going to cancel Lord Jamar and Godfrey. So they did it. So here's the charge for you, black community. Y'all need to unsubscribe. Do whatever y'all going to do from that other channel, from Vlad TV. Y'all need to honor y'all word and have these two people's back. Because what y'all don't understand is when y'all try to get people to denounce their platforms and stuff, they didn't do it. And why didn't they do it? Because they knew that y'all didn't have no infrastructure for them to go to, no money, no support to go to. So when y'all would try to get other people that were in funny situations with clothing lines and contracts and stores and all this type of stuff, they would find out the company racist, and y'all try to say, y'all need to stop working with them, and they never would do it because they know that y'all asses weren't gonna have their back. But now it's 2020, and it seemed like you got a little more sense. Not sure if that's true, but here is the chance to prove to the universe and to the ancestors and to our gods that you are ready to rise again as a people. And I know that sounds like, oh, that is so extreme, like that's so extra, but it's so serious right now, because the gods are ready to help. Like ancestors, they ready to do our bidding and help us so much. I have no idea. So y'all gotta support these two brothers, even though something that seems so small as this a podcast. Y'all gotta stand by them, and I'll support them, even if they do end up getting a lot of backlash from the mainstream society, and that is something like losing opportunities, getting blackballed. We have to step in and help them financially, with view counts, with subscriptions and memberships, all types of stuff, physically showing up to their events, whatever, helping them get their stuff together, and that's what this is about. They probably eating good, they probably got more, they may be middle class niggas, I don't know their situation at all. But as black people, this is our time to show the universe that we mean business and that we're going to support those who we ask to take a stand. You don't ask no one to take a stand, and then once they do it, y'all know where to be found. Because that's how every black leader and every black person who ever spoke up, that's why they ass got killed, or that's why they ass was broke, or it just ended up leaving. Yeah, I know that there, like a lot of our people that was all that they took their ass up and went to Africa and bought land and lived off the good of the land and taught the little African babies who was desperate to learn. And we got W.E.B. boys that did that, and also them guys that did that Black Power fist at the Olympics. Do you know that I want to say one or two of them, the one who got called a coon, who went out the next day, and remember they sent out one guy who refused to do the Black Power fist, who was smiling and giddy in it. Remember the backlash that he received, and he was called all these names, and he was and he ended up just leaving to go to Africa because he didn't have his back. Same with the other couple of guys who actually did it. They had got blackballed for that. They had to leave. I said W.E.B. Du Bois already. It's been a couple and a lot smaller, lesser names who try to speak out. They just get tired. They like, I'm out, or they just do their own thing and say whatever. Them niggas ain't ready. The black community, the Black American community, don't break these people's hearts no more. The leaders' hearts, the elders and your ancestors. Stop breaking their heart with that crab in the barrel shit and not wanting to support your own. Them days are done. I'm telling you, you don't know what's coming on 2022 and 23. Y'all think y'all literally just about to get able to go to y'all job still and hate on each other and not support each other and rely on a dominant society for everything, for your food, your clothing, and everything. And them days gonna be done because everybody gonna be scavenging. All races, all groups of people is going to be in a race to get resources. I'm talking about on a micro level, not on a societal level. I'm talking about on a micro level. Everybody going to be struggling. And when I say struggling, I mean not like everybody just going to lose their money, but a lot of stuff is going to shift so fast in this country, in this world, where only this intellects, the survival of the fittest, all this stuff where people who know how to live off nature, people who got skills to be able to live off this earth and all this stuff, and people who value their self and their soul and their heart and their mind and ready to get in tune with this universe and not value this materialistic world. Those are going to be the ones that make it. And trying to get black people to understand that you're going to have to start over from the bottom. That's why it's so important to learn the basics, because basically your whole way of life as you know it is going to change. And you're going to see that no one's going to help us. Like all of that marching and protesting, complaining, and please change, please stop this racism, please stop. No one's going to give a fuck. When I say it's about to get gutter, dog eat dog, you think it's cutthroat now? And you think that you getting sabotaged now? If y'all don't stick together, no one's going to care about your crying and your whining. Y'all going to have to stick together and figure it out and work together and trust each other to build and get y'all shit together. I promise you. And support each other. And y'all still gonna have, obviously technology and internet and the ability to start businesses, but it's gonna be very different. You're gonna have to be crowdsourcing each other's shit on a very local level. Y'all gonna be having to see the value of passing that dollar to another black person. You're gonna see it. When I say you're gonna be forced to, you have no idea. Like eating, and you get jealous every time a black person start a business and you a crab in a barrel. You go out your way to not own. You jealous if any time a black person got just a tad, an ounce more than you want to tear it down and fuck they shit up and demand that they take a stand. And then when they do it, you abandon them out of jealousy because you wouldn't have took that stand. And now you get resentful and want to see them suffer in silence and suffer being blackballed while you living your life going to work for the white man and going to do and shucking and jiving and hey, it's doing the shit that you accusing other people of doing. But just because they have a higher platform, you tell them to take a stand and they do it, then your ass is nowhere to be found. Them days are gonna be gone. And I'm so out. Y'all have no idea how big I'm smiling right now because y'all don't understand how much of a awakening is about to happen. And those of us who with the shits, the gods and the ancestors, we excited. We can't wait. Like we just like kids in the candy shop. We ready for that day. We not scared. We believe in ourselves. And if shit hit the fan, we gonna live off this earth. We're gonna get in tune with the spirit verse, and we're ready for these ancestors and these intergalactic beings. Like when I say y'all have no idea, like. It's so amazing the feeling of these portals all over these spiritual portals opening all over the place, and to see everybody still clinging on to a system that is it's to be honest, it's slavery by another word. It's like y'all, it's a panopticon prison that Freud talked about. Is it not Freud? It was not Freud. It's Foucault. Okay, he's the one that talked about the prison where you don't know that you're in a prison, but everything is around you. It is pretty much set up, and that was Michel Foucault. So I did a lot of his reading back in the day, but y'all still clinging on to something that an illusion, basically delusion and illusion, and it's about to be busted. Y'all bubble about to be. I'm talking about the whole world. Pop your damn bubble. Wake your ass up. And y'all gonna see the beauty in yourself again, black people. And you're gonna, for one, because there's so many things gonna shift, so much truth gonna come out. I'm bringing you truth as well. So if you listen to my shit, you're gonna see the beauty of yourself. You're gonna get the truth. It's gonna be harsh at first, but eventually the stuff I got coming out with the Black Man series, I got a Black Woman series, I got mad shit coming out, and another book that's gonna be out too. Y'all gonna see y'all beauty, not just from me, just from history, knowing the truth about yourself, and y'all self-esteem is gonna rise once you start to really see the shit going on. If it's not gonna be all of us, because some of y'all still running around with like chickens with your head cut off, still clinging to a system, still scared, low vibration, in fear, don't want to get with the times. And you're gonna perish because you're gonna see other people doing. You're gonna think that y'all gonna try to ride this out. Like y'all literally gonna ride this out to y'all death, and you're gonna have an early death at that. I'm not talking just to black people. I'm talking about these humans. They trying to ride out their weird ass systems that they set up, their hierarchies and their structures and their enterprises. They gonna cling to it. And I'm telling you, this universe is popping bubbles all over the place. That's what 2020 has been about. The year of exposure, the year of truth, and more is coming out. 2021, that's gonna be the icing on the cake because 20 the beginning. So don't be depressed and all this stuff about the virus and the shutdown. Stop getting depressed. Like I be hearing black people, this is your time. And this is your time to support each other. Show the universe who you are as the African. Show the universe that you're proud of who you are, and so that they can recognize us. Because right now, a lot of you have Negropean mind. You have a mind that is not of your own. And how can the universe recognize the difference between you and other groups of people who have sinned, or who have oppressed you, or they can't recognize the difference unless you go to the universe and by your actions and by your words, and you say that I want to be in tune. I want to be one of the ones that make it. I want to nature. I'm going to respect myself, and I'm going to respect my progeny, that which comes out of me, which is sperm, or I don't know what the fluid for the girls is called, which creates life. I'm going to respect my counterpart who has created me, which is the black woman. I'm going to respect nature, this planet, everything, and we're going to work together and build the things that we know we can do. We know we can do civilization, writing, spirituality, architecture. We know that's encoded in our cell DNA, and I'm going to be doing a whole breakdown of everything you ever made within the last 30,000 years as Africans. So you're going to know that you can do it. And once the dust settle, you're going to be forced to all these fires, all these floods, all this crazy deaths from this pandemic, all of this stuff going on, and you to locusts, plagues, all this stuff. And y'all don't want to see the divine judgment here. You want to still go on that rat race, running on that cot, being that cot, what's it called, the cog in the machine, and still be stuck in that system. Y'all gonna learn y'all lesson. Now, I went on a tangent, but what you need to take from this is support that platform that took a stand for you black people, especially black men. Black men, now is your time, because y'all always want to, y'all be jealous of each other. I cannot believe how much y'all don't support each other. It's mind-boggling, and it's honestly, you guys, somehow y'all learned that in childhood, child rearing, slave consciousness. I'm not sure, but it gotta stop. Y'all gotta support each other. Of course, you gotta show the sisters. The sisters is upset. A lot of them is divesting. A lot of them doing their own thing now because they hope their hearts are broken. I lost hope for a little bit. I have hope, but not in that sense. I know that the majority of y'all will not make it. That's a fact. And there's only gonna be a tiny amount of black men is willing to make that shift in collective consciousness, as well as black women. So, to be honest, I made my peace with that. I lost my heart was broken all the time from the stuff I seen in my community, from both of y'all. But now it's like, you can't save everybody. Oh well, this is the joy of natural selection. So whatever happens, what happened. But there's only going to be that few, that chosen few. We're going to be good, and that's who I'm talking to. If you listening to me, and you listen to my platform and my videos, and you support me, and you like what I gotta say, even though it might be harsh sometimes, you know that you see the value and the truth, and you know that the goal is for the upliftment, truth, healing, shifting collective consciousness, enlightenment, transcendence. So y'all know, but I'm gonna give you all that harsh, brutal truth of what we did and what we have done to end up in this situation. Then we have to rise and move on from it and forgive ourselves. So that's all I be talking about. And those who can handle that, because that's a big leap to focus on yourself and not trying to get white people to change their ways and see you and get their approval and validation and acceptance. Nobody cares about that over here. The universe does not care about that. The universe cares about what you do, your self-respect. If you don't respect yourself, how you gonna get shocked when nobody else respect you? You gotta focus on your ass. Now give a shit about what no other group of people is doing, and create an environment to where what they do does not affect you. via build and practicing group economics. That's pretty much, or leaving. That's pretty much all you can do. Trying to march and say, please change. How you gonna you can't change anybody. You cannot change people. So those days are done. And I don't want people that think like that. That's beyond that's below rather our thinking. Because we are at the point where we know other people's insecurities or projections have nothing to do with us. If they got it, they gotta take that up with God. As far as that constant need to dominate and that constant need to feel scared and want to instill fear in black people and make them feel like, oh, you have to be beneath me, when it's not true, when we can prove that scientifically. So that obsession that they have, that ain't got nothing to do with us. So what you up there trying to convince them to see you as human and to stop being envious and to stop doing what they doing? They can't. It's something in them. That what are you doing? We not all going to, the universe don't care about none of that. If y'all get along, great. If y'all can't, do what's sensible as humans. And that's where God is at with it. If y'all can get it, if y'all can figure it out and it can be genuine, that's lovely. But y'all haven't in 1,000 years. So move on. Practice the law of self-preservation. If you're not, okay, you perish too. So many of us is not going to make it, and I have hope for the very few of us. Very few. And that's who I'm talking to. And if that's like 2 people, 10 people, 15, great. Because all you need is what? 3 people? You need 2 men? You need 2 women and 1 man, hopefully, to start a whole new nation. 3 people. Maybe 4. Maybe 4 is ideal. 2 men, 2 women. And they can mix up their gene pools enough. And I know that sounds very out there, but I'm talking on a scientific level, what you would need to do to obviously reproduce the human race. You would need the 2 men, the 2 women can swap to get more gene diversity. That's just common sense. And they would need to be at a high level of consciousness to do that. So I don't care if it's only 4 niggas, 5, 6, 10. I know I can get more than that, but I'll start low because you have to take what you can get because so many people is lost right now. So I end this by saying, this is y'all time to show and prove that y'all ready to support y'all own, that y'all gonna flock to Godfrey, Lord Jamar, and Rod Digger's pod. Subscribe and watch they shit. Give them their views. Even if you don't like the topic, play that shit and put it on mute and continue doing whatever you do. I do that all the time with people that I know I'm going to support and I want their view count up and I want their ads to play. Play that shit. I got an hour, 20-minute long video. Play it. Boom. Put it on mute. I don't really care about that topic. That's boring. And go do what you got to do in the background.